ArsenalFanTV. Mo, a win on the day, a good win, down to 10 men, a good win. But ultimately, as some of these guys have been saying, it's failure.
For sure,
Europa
100%.
League.
Yeah, let's not make any mistake. This season has been a failure in terms of our league campaign, in terms of our FA Cup campaign. Might yield success, might not. Champions League has been a failure again. Overall, this season's been a failure, regardless of what happens in the FA Cup. And
Does that mean the manager has to go for you?
Well, I've said all along. It's not. We shouldn't be doing some sort of reckless.
No, you haven't said all along.
No,
I'm asking you a straight question.
You haven't even heard what I'm about to say.
All
so
right.
what I'm about to say is what I've said all along. If there's a better person for the job, then yes, he has to go. If Allegri's available, if Simeone's available, there are two men that I would identify.
Go out and make these people available, don't you?
Of course, yeah. Of course you would. But if
so what you are saying in reality is that he should go, or we should go out there and get a better manager to take over. There's guys like Allegri.
But
you could look at a Jardin who just won it for Monaco. You could look at a Tuchel. You could look at many of these targets out there and say like the last guy said, 8.5 million. Here.
But look, it's very reckless when people just say Wenger out. That's it. I hate him. Just Wenger out. That's not how you do business. That's not how you run a football club. That's not a plan. That's being very reactive, and then you might leave yourself open to being even worse off. If you go and feel what's out there. If someone's like Allegri's available or Simeone's available, you can make the deal happen. Then yeah, do it. But you've got to do your research. You've got to know what's going on. And if there's not going to be an upgrade available, then yeah, you stick with what you've got. It's just common sense.
Why do you think he didn't come out at the end and do the lap of honour? A lot of fans have been pretty angry about that. They're like, why have you not come out and walked around and said thank you to the fans?
Listen, I've got no time for those people that are using this as another stick to beat Arsene Wenger with. Just because you don't like the guy, at least have some objectivity. Had he come out and clapped, everyone would have been saying, oh, that arrogant so-and-so, look what he's doing. He's being rubbish. Why is he thanking us? We hate him. And all the banners would have come out and he would have got a shed load of
Shouldn't he come out and say thanks?
Let me finish. What he's done, in my opinion, is that he's actually realised that, do you know what, I'm probably not going to be well received, so I'll let the players do their thanks and not overshadow that sort of a relationship between players and fans where they're trying to thank him, the players can clap the fans can clap the players, rather than being all about him. Who's to say that he won't thank us in his press conference afterwards or just at another point?
Then how do you say...
I think it was the right decision for him to kind of just stay back, given the way the mood is around him. There were banners in the North Bank lower saying Wenger out. What's he meant to do? Come out there and have this sort of fake interaction? I thought it was the right thing for him to do. And I also...
So how do you sign a new contract then? If you're scared to come out and walk around the fans because you're scared of a negative reaction...
No, I'm not saying he's scared of a negative reaction. I'm saying that he knows that it's very mixed feelings in the ground, and it will overshadow between the players and the fans' interaction.
So he knows that so much, right, that he's made the decision not to go around and give a lap of honour. So how can he sign a new deal? How can he put pen to paper on a new 2-year deal, knowing that a lot of the fans don't want him here?
It's a ridiculous angle we're coming from here, because he's clearly got a conflict of interest, right? He wants to succeed. He wants to earn 8.5 million a year. These are very natural human emotions, right? So the burden should not be on him, and it's not on any one of us in our own day jobs that we should actually say, do you know what, I'm not the right man for the job, I'm not going to sign the contract. The burden is on the person making that decision and putting that contract in front of him. He doesn't write the contract, print it out, get the pen, sign it, hand it back. Someone else is involved in this process. We should be saying to them, don't offer him the new contract. If he offers a new contract, he's doing exactly what all of us would do.
Well, no, not exactly, because you'll see a footballer, for instance, and John Terry probably feels that he can go on for another 5 years, but he's realised that his career's come to an end.
No, Robbie, that's a bad example.
And you have other footballers.
John Terry wants to stay at Chelsea.
All right.
And he would sign the contract if he was offered one. He's gone on record and said that.
But he's also said the other day that maybe it's come the time for me to retire.
Maybe,
and you see other players, you see footballers all the time say, you know what? The time has come for me to go.
They don't make that decision. Look at Wayne Rooney right now. He wants to stay at United. Look at John Terry. He wants to stay at Chelsea. It's the people above them, the decision makers, that are saying, no, the time is now for you to go. That's what we should be doing here. Grow a pair, make the decision. You sit above Arsene Wenger. If he's not the right man for the job, if there's someone better than him, go and get that person. We are being quite silly in terms of not realising that Arsene Wenger's clearly got a personal conflict of interest. The contract's in front of him, the money's in front of him. Of course he's going to want to sign it. We should be directing our attention elsewhere. And that is what we did today. The message was very loud and clear. You might be silent, Stan. The fans are not. And we need him to at least have the decency to come out and say, if I'm not going to accept it, what is it going to take? Because he knows we're not happy. Don't treat us with the continued contempt of silence. We clearly matter. We clearly care about this club a hell of a lot more than you do. So please tell us what it will take. Whatever makes you tick. If it's money, if it's something else, whatever it is, if it's a case of you want your son to be involved going forward, then maybe a deal can be done where he's retained on the board of directors. Or if it's money, then maybe a 2 billion offer that values the club at 2 billion offer can come in. Whatever it is, we need to know what it is that will make you sell out. Because ultimately, look, nothing, in my opinion, is really going to change. This season, the owner has allowed this club to have no vocal leadership. And as a result of that absence of leadership, this club being a rudderless ship, the fans have created their own narrative this year. And that narrative has, at best, it's been disrespectful. At worst, it's been actually abusive and hateful. And that's why I don't think Arsene Wenger was out today. You've let the club continue this year with no spirit, no unity, no togetherness, and it's been to the detriment of the club. If as an owner you can't see that, I don't think you're fit to run a football club. You look at your other businesses, none of them are doing brilliantly. You haven't got a great track record, it seems. And not only that, you're not here week in, week out. That's what fans want to see. We want an owner that is clearly emotionally invested in the club, and we're not seeing that. From the first day of the season, I spoke to you outside here and I said to you, if you fail to prepare, you're prepared to fail. In that game, we lost 4-3 to Liverpool because we hadn't completed our transfer business. I remember Mustafi wasn't available to us that game, and all of a sudden, look at the league table right now. It was that game. It came down to 1 goal conceded. Had we drew that game 3-3, and I know there's no guarantees that had we signed that central defender, things would have been different. We still might have lost that game 4-3. We might have lost it 5-3, but ultimately, you've got to do everything you can in a sensible time frame. The first ever interview I did with you, Robbie, I made the point that the transfer deadline window is arbitrary, yet we stick to it like it's some sort of gospel deadline. Why is it that we're signing players on the final day rather than when the season starts? Had we done that with Mustafi and had a decent team out against Liverpool on the opening day of the season and drew that game or won that game, we'd be in the Champions League right now. But now, we're not. And we're in the Europa League. And I'm not going to make any bones about this. I want to dine at the top table, and only that way you're going to eventually win it. If you're not in it, you've got no chance. And now we're in some budget, second tier, second rate competition that, look, if we're in it, yeah, fine, I want to win every competition we're in. But will I take any great pride, will I take any great satisfaction from beating teams I've never heard of in a competition where you get dropouts of the Champions League? I'm sorry. Look, that's not what Arsenal's about. We'll leave other clubs and other fans to pretend that that is a big trophy. For me, I'm sorry. I've dined on the top table of Europe my whole life, just about. I'm used to Champions League football. I'm not about to pretend and gloss over this second-tier competition as if it's something to be proud of. It's failure. This season is failure. Something needs to change, and that needs to be not just the owner, it needs to be at all levels of this club, set from an owner. So please stand Kroenke, don't stay silent, let us know what it will take. Let us know what we need to do, whoever's interested in buying the club, or the fans, whatever we can do for you to part. You can hopefully say I've won 3 FA Cups, I've made £600 million profit plus, that's if he accepts this offer of £1 million for his stake. You can make 600 million...
Billion.
£1 billion, sorry. £600 million profit. You can go back to America and write an autobiography off of that. You can make yourself a hero. I won 3 FA Cups, fingers crossed, or at least 2. I made £600 million. I'm a baller. Go and take that legacy. Go and spend it on your ranch. Go and spend it on the LA Rams. Please give us our club back. Please. You know, this is not me trying to direct abuse. I appreciate you've kept us running in a financially secure manner. You know, I appreciate that. There's owners that have been much more reckless than that. But please do us a favour now and return the club to the people that really care, because it keeps us awake at night. We feel the pain. We're going to be booking tickets to Kazakhstan and Slovenia. You're not. You're going to be on your ranch in America. Please do us a favour. At least let us know what you need in order to agree to sell up.